Tesla's perfect storm, Musk faces Trump fallout, DeepSeek's quiet revolution, fear of crashing, the FAA declares war on floppy disks, and the TSA issues a travel warning. Does your phone need a condom? Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Elon Musk's business empire faces unprecedented challenges as Tesla stock plunged 14% amid a public feud with President Trump. The company attempts to hide details about its struggling robotaxi launch, and the head of its billion-dollar robot division just resigned. The world's richest man is discovering that political power plays and technological promises have consequences. Tesla shares tumbled 14.3% on Thursday, wiping out approximately $152 billion in market value as Musk's relationship with President Donald Trump disintegrated in a public social media war. The catalyst was Musk's fierce criticism of Trump's tax and spending bill, which he called a disgusting abomination, on his social media platform X. Trump fired back, calling Musk the man who has lost his mind, and threatened to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts worth billions of dollars. Musk responded, going nuclear with what some saw as a threat to Trump that implied he had information to release about Trump and Harvey Epstein. He also implied that he could leave astronauts stranded in space if his SpaceX rocket didn't go get them. That prompted Trump to more directly threaten Musk, claiming that a lot of cost savings could be made if the government canceled Musk's contracts and tax breaks on electric cars. By yesterday morning, all of Musk's threats about Epstein were removed, but only after they'd been seen by 200 million people and made every news report in the world. But a defiant posting remained. It said, "Without me, Trump would have lost the election," a claim that analysts say could have severe business consequences for Tesla and SpaceX. We don't normally deal with celebrity catfights, but these comments and this feud has implications for all of Musk's companies and those who deal with them. The Musk-Trump riff creates opportunities for Musk's competitors. Traditional automakers like Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis could benefit if federal regulators devise autonomous vehicle rules requiring LiDAR sensors, which Tesla doesn't use. Tesla relies solely on cameras for its full self-driving technology, potentially putting it at a regulatory disadvantage. The removal of the $7,500 electric vehicle tax credit could particularly help Detroit's big three automakers, whose gas-powered cars are far more profitable than their electric models. With Tesla facing potential loss of government support and regulatory headwinds, competitors may finally have an opening in the EV market. Other competitors who could benefit? While it looked like OpenAI would struggle to get U.S. defense and other government contracts with Musk so tight with Donald Trump, that's no longer a given. Sam Altman's OpenAI got a huge boost, especially with OpenAI's pledge to build a huge Stargate processing facility in the U.S. No doubt, Mark Zuckerberg is also in seventh heaven as his social media competitor takes a pounding, and while Zuckerberg is looking for defense and other government AI contracts. Adding to Tesla's troubles, the company is desperately trying to control the narrative around its robotaxi service launch, set to begin June 12th in Austin, Texas. With Tesla's car sales plummeting and continued issues about Cybertrucks, the promise of driverless taxis was a Hail Mary that could revive the company's fortunes. But Tesla is attempting to prevent the city of Austin from releasing public records related to its robotaxi project, with a Tesla lawyer claiming that disclosure would irreparably harm Tesla. The secrecy raises questions about the service's viability. The launch will feature just 10 or 20 vehicles with human safety drivers on day one, a far cry from the autonomous taxi revolution Musk has promised investors. Tesla's head of autopilot and AI software admitted in a recent interview that technically Waymo is already performing and we're lagging maybe a couple of years behind. But the challenges extend beyond vehicles to Musk's robotic ambitions. Just as it appeared that China might allow the export of key magnets that the Optimus robots need in high volume, another unexpected blow hit Musk. Milan Kovac, Tesla's head of the Optimus humanoid robot program and a vice president in charge of the complete program, announced he's leaving the company after 9 years. Kovac cited personal reasons, stating he needs to spend more time with his family abroad. The departure comes just as CEO Elon Musk claimed the humanoid robot would make Tesla a $25 trillion company, with potential to generate $10 trillion in revenue per year. Most market research firms estimate the humanoid robot market to be in the low single-digit billions. Not that that's particularly small, but with growth projections through 2032 ranging from $15 billion to $80 billion. Nowhere near Musk's projections. Now, Kovac is not the only Optimus engineer to leave Tesla recently, with competitor Figure poaching Zachary Bernholtz, a 7-year Tesla veteran. Analysts are warning that the social media war of words is not good for anyone and puts massive pressure on Tesla shares, with fears that Trump will turn from friend to foe and create a tough regulatory environment. Tesla investor Ross Gerber criticized Musk's public statements and issued an ominous warning, writing, "Trump is an angry and vindictive man who doesn't forget when slighted." So, can this get solved with anything other than Elon groveling back and publicly apologizing? With Tesla's stock down approximately 27% year-to-date, falling sales in key markets, and now potential regulatory retaliation from the Trump administration, Musk's empire confronts challenges that even his legendary optimism may struggle to overcome. While most eyes were focused on OpenAI's latest announcements and Google AI's developments, Chinese artificial intelligence startup DeepSeek released the first update to its R1 reasoning model in the early hours of Thursday, delivering yet another reminder that innovation doesn't always come with Silicon Valley fanfare. DeepSeek's AI assistant, powered by DeepSeek V3, has overtaken rival ChatGPT to be the top-rated free application available on Apple's App Store in the United States, Canada, and a number of other countries worldwide. Yet many in the tech community are still asking, DeepSeek who? The Hangzhou-based startup has mastered the art of significant releases without the marketing blitz typical of Western AI companies. The firm said later in a short post on X that R10528 featured improved performance, and the rate of hallucinations, false or misleading output, was reduced by about 45 to 50% in scenarios such as rewriting and summarizing. And the update also enhanced creative and writing capabilities and front-end code generation. What makes DeepSeek's approach particularly striking is the economics. The company has attracted attention in global AI circles after writing in a paper last month that the training of DeepSeek V3 required less than $6 million worth of computing power from an NVIDIA H800 chipset, a fraction of what Western competitors spend. This cost efficiency, which has been a story before, is raising uncomfortable questions in boardrooms across North America. If a relatively unknown Chinese startup can deliver competitive AI performance at a tenth of the cost, what does that mean for massive infrastructure investments being made by tech giants? Liang Wenfeng is reported to come off as shy, nervous, and even reserved in meetings, but employees refer to him as Lao Ban, Chinese for boss, a common sign of respect for business superiors in China. His approach, empowering young researchers and focusing on technical excellence over marketing, represents a stark contrast to the celebrity CEO culture of Silicon Valley. While Western companies focus on billion-dollar valuations and splashy product launches, a quiet team in Hangzhou is systematically delivering competitive AI at costs that challenge the entire industry's economic assumptions. The company's MIT-licensed open-source approach means developers can access world-class AI capabilities without the licensing fees typical of commercial alternatives. So the question isn't whether you've heard of DeepSeek. It's whether you're paying attention to what they're building next. And here's a fear of flying story. The Federal Aviation Administration is launching an ambitious plan to eliminate floppy disks and Windows 95 computers from the U.S. air traffic control systems, ending decades of reliance on technology that predates the Clinton administration. Acting FAA Administrator Chris Rocheleau announced the modernization goal to the House Appropriations Committee this week, declaring, "The whole idea is to replace the system." Nick Daniels, president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, said, "We have computers, and I kid you not, today in 2025 that are based on Windows 95 and floppy disks." The FAA has issued a request for information to companies and scheduled industry days for tech firms to pitch solutions. The announcement addresses a shocking reality. Over a third of the nation's air traffic control systems are unsustainable, according to an FAA assessment from 2023, and some are starting to fail. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy called the modernization the most important infrastructure project that we've had in this country for decades. The initiative comes after recent communication outages in Newark Liberty International Airport highlighted the fragility of the aging system. Despite the fact that this is outdated technology, it costs big money to run it. 92% of the FAA's equipment budget goes to maintaining these antiquated systems. Sony stopped making floppy disks in 2011, yet 200 air traffic control systems still use them to manage the nation's 45,000 daily flights. The modernization faces some unique challenges since air traffic control systems can never be shut down because it's crucial for safety. Former FAA Administrator Michael Huerta identified the core issue. It's a money problem. The Trump administration estimates costs will reach tens of billions of dollars, with a 4-year completion goal that industry experts are calling unrealistic. The initiative represents the most comprehensive attempt to drag American aviation infrastructure into the modern era, finally retiring technology that was cutting edge when grunge music topped the charts. The TSA just warned travelers about juice jacking at airports. And yes, USB condoms are apparently a real solution to this very real cybersecurity threat. Picture this: your phone's about to die, you spot a USB charging port at the airport, and you think you've found salvation. Well, think again. The Transportation Security Administration just issued a warning that might make you reconsider that convenient port. Hackers are using a technique called juice jacking to steal your data. The TSA cautioned in a recent Facebook post, when you're at an airport, do not plug your phone directly into a USB port. Hackers can install malware at USB ports, what we've called juice port jacking. Juice jacking occurs when cyber criminals tamper with public charging stations to act like computers that extract data from connected devices rather than simply providing power. Malware installed through a corrupted USB port can lock a device or export personal data and passwords directly to the perpetrator, according to the Federal Communications Commission. The solution sounds almost too cheeky to be real. Experts recommend using a USB data blocker, colloquially known as a USB condom, which blocks data transfer while allowing your device to charge safely. We've got a couple of tips for you. 1, practice safe text. The TSA is warned against airport Wi-Fi for sensitive tasks. Do not ever enter any sensitive info while using unsecure Wi-Fi. Austrian researchers have recently introduced an even more sophisticated variant to some of the tools that are out there. It's called choice jacking, and it can bypass existing protections, and it poses a greater threat to Android devices, but it's still a threat to iOS. The TSA's advice is straightforward. Bring your TSA-compliant power brick or battery pack and plug it in there. You'll have to move the kids with the Mac laptops who are using the only power outlets that are there. And remember, if you have to, sometimes your phone really does need a condom. And that's our show. You can reach us at editorial@technewsday.ca and check out our new improved website at technewsday.ca or .com. Take your pick. We've done a lot for a tiny band of independent tech journalists, and we could use your support. Please, please, please consider going to buymeacoffee.com/techpodcast. That's buymeacoffee.com/techpodcast and buy us a coffee. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a marvelous Monday.